Here we have a little cheat for overexposed images. So the contrast in a shot like this is very, very high. You're inside the forest, but the bright sunshine is breaking through. A real headache for camera sensors, and you may have gone into RAW, use the recovery slider or the highlight slider and try to get back as much information as you can, and just found out that it just doesn't work. You've got as much as possible. So here's a little trick for an image with clipped highlights to make it just a little bit more palatable. It's actually quite straightforward. We can do it with a single levels adjustment layer. So I'm going to click the button at the bottom of the layers palette, select levels, and the first thing that we want to do is to change the output levels below and just shift that in a touch, so we're killing some of the brightest highlights, just toning them down to a more kind of subtle point. So 240 is a good way to go. Then we can set about adding a bit of color just to distract the eye and kid the eye that it's not actually bright white, there's something behind there. So we can add a bit of yellow. That often works quite well. Goes very nicely with the green there. You can see if I just move the properties dialog there, that's already looking quite nice. Or indeed, instead of yellow, perhaps we might try a bit of cyan. Blue doesn't work so well, so in the red channel I can just bring this in like so, and I can also use the layer mask to brush it out of any areas I don't want. So I can press B for the brush tool, switch to black. Perhaps I want to keep the brightness on the path and this surrounding area, and as you brush this out you'll notice that the blue in the sky behind looks now a little bit too dark, so I can just drop the layer opacity just to make it perhaps a little bit more subtle. So if I move this dialog box again and just turn that on and off, you can see it just makes it a little bit more interesting. I actually prefer the yellow effect to the blue, but it's certainly preferential to those bright white clipped highlights in the sky.